All right, we can continue. We in Jeremiah the 44th chapter, verse 10. Considering, talking about the women, he said, they are not humble, even unto this day. Neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. Let you know, people didn't humble themselves. Most I want you to be humble. Can't get no clearer than that. Even unto this day, he said, we haven't humbled ourselves. I'm just talking about our wives, the wickedness of our wives, which they committed in the land of Judah. And the men was right down with them, right down with them. Say they are not humble, even unto this day. Neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. See, therefore, thus say the Most High Power of hosts, armies, angels, the power of Israel. Behold, I will set my face against you for evil. And see, understand this. Most High is not evil. But since we want to do evil, then we draw evil to him. Excuse me. And he takes that evil back to you. Because he see it. Therefore, thus say the Most High Power of hosts, the power of Israel. Behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. Cut us out of the land of Judah. And I will take the remnant of Judah that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt, to sojourn there. They shall all be consumed. So I'm going to kill all of them and fall in the land of Egypt. And they shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine. They shall die, from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by the famine. And they shall be an execration and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. We like that all where we scattered, especially here in America. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I punished Jerusalem, by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence, so that none of the remnant of Judah, which are gone into the land of Egypt, to sojourn there, shall escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to the which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape. See, if we hear what he's saying, he said, ain't no remnant of Judah that went into Egypt gonna get back into the land of Israel, to Jerusalem, but those that are able to escape. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, like what they're going to be doing tomorrow and honoring the Queen of Heaven, as we see here, the other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, a whole lot of women, great multitude of women, even all the people that dwell in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, answered Jeremiah saying, look what they said. They heard what the Most High said, the word from the Most High. As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us, Yahweh by Shabbat Mashak Yahushai, that they would know to say, we will not hearken unto thee. You heard what he said? Verse 10, they are not humble, even unto this day, neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. He said, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us, verse 16, in Yahweh B'Shem Mashak Yahushai, we will not hearken unto thee. We ain't listening to you. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing going forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven. There it is. That's what you're dealing with tomorrow. This custom of worshiping the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings, and our princes, in the cities of Judah, in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals, and were well, and saw no evil. You hear that? You see what they said? But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. So what they thinking? Remember, we just read about all the gods. What the Most High said, they can't do nothing. Because it is a God. That's what they're dealing with. But it sounds familiar. Let's go to the Greek Empire. That's the Babylonian Empire. Let's go to the Greek Empire. Nothing new under the sun. Go to First Maccabees, first chapter. And let's make sure that you understand it's the Greek Empire. Go to First Maccabees, the first book of the Maccabees 1:1. They say, and it happened after the Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So he's the first emperor over the Greek Empire. Alexander the Greek, you know about him. So it tells you in verse 9, after his death, after Alexander died, they all, his 4 generals, all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them, many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. When the Greeks came into power, it's telling you this. So it's telling you, verse 11, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. Well, the Most High told us in Jeremiah 10:2, learn not the way of the heathen. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. What did they say? Jeremiah 44:18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. See? Sound familiar? Same people. This is what we're about. First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel, the Israelites, Hebrew Israelites, wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen. Let's make a contract, agreement with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, wicked King Antiochus, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Okay? What was the orders of the heathen? Gave them license to do the orders of the heathen, so they could do what they wanted to do, and we, as the Israelites, doing righteousness, couldn't deal with them, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant. Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, like these gyms, right? Where, look, a license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Hear that? According to the customs of the heathen. That's their custom. Moses said, learn not the way of the heathen, but you follow the same custom as the heathen. What can I say? And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. There it is. Sold to do mischief because they sold themselves to the heathen. To do the things that were unprofitable to themselves. Now going back to the Queen of Heaven. Jeremiah 44:18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her. So cakes gonna be made on this day, of Mother's Day, to worship her. These are customs that we did. And pour out drink offerings unto her without our men. They did all this here without their men. People gonna be drinking and gonna be nothing about the Most High. Or show me where my Shechem Shai honored this. The Most High said honored this day. And Jeremiah said unto all the people, to the men and to the women, to all the people which had given him that answer, saying, the incense that ye burn in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, ye and your fathers, your kings, and your princes, and the people of the land, did not the Most High remember them, and came it not into his mind, so that the Most High could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings, and because of the abomination which ye have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation and an astonishment. It is really a desolation and astonishment to this day. And a curse without an inhabitant, as at this day. He could say it no better. Because ye have burned incense, and because ye have sinned against the Most High, and have not obeyed the voice of the Most High, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies. Therefore, this evil is happening unto you as at this day. So it's a lot of evil that's going to happen to those that going to honor this pagan day. Most High long suffering, but just like it happened here, it's going to happen now. Moreover, Jeremiah said unto all the people and to all the women, hear the word of the Most High, all Judah that are in the land of Egypt. Thus say the Most High power of hosts, the power of Israel, saying, ye and your wives have both spoken with your mouths. You know, open up your big mouths and spoken. I heard what you said. And fulfill with your hand, saying, we will surely perform all our vows that we have vowed, to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings in her. He heard him, and the Most High heard him. You will surely accomplish your vows, and surely perform your vows. Therefore hear ye the word of the Most High, all Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, said the Most High. You hear what he said? I'm swearing by my great name, that my name shall no more be named in the mouth of any man of Judah in all the land of Egypt, saying, the Most High power, their power liveth, the power of Israel. No, you kept saying that, right? Say, you ain't gonna be able to say that out of your mouth, all you in Egypt, you Israelites in Egypt, that's giving me this word out of your big mouths. Behold, I will watch over them for evil and not for good. And all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and by the famine until there be an end of them. So I'm killing all of them in the land of Egypt. That's making this proclamation to me. For the Queen of Heaven? Against the Most High power of Israel? Oh no. Yet a small number that escaped the sword shall return out of the land of Egypt into the land of Judah, and all the remnant of Judah that are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall know whose word shall stand, mine or theirs. Now you gonna know too. Is the Most High's word gonna stand or yours gonna stand? The way you feel, since it tell you many are deceived by their own vain opinion in Ecclesiasticus 3:24, and an evil suspicion overthrown their judges, you gonna find out too whether your word's gonna stand or the Most High's word gonna stand. Because there's nothing new under the sun. Same old, same old. And this shall be a sign unto you, said the Most High, that I will punish you in this place, that ye may know, and this Egypt here too, that ye may know that my words shall surely stand against you for evil. Thus said the Most High power of Israel, behold, I will give Pharaoh, Hophra, king of Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of them that seek his life, as I gave Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, his enemy, that sought his life. So now, let me prove that we're in Egypt here, in captivity, wherever we are. Go to Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies, our dead bodies, shall lie in the street of this great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Mashiach Yeshua was crucified. See? I mean, here he is right here. Crucified right here. Until this day. I got this in America. Right here. Mashiach Yeshua crucified right here. That's crucifying him. saying that that's him. That's a lie. You got people believing that. So yeah, this is Egypt right here too. So let's continue with this because it's very important that we see this. Proverbs 30 and 5. Proverbs 30 and 5. Every word of the Most High is pure. He is a shield, a protection unto them that put their trust in him. You see, they was trusting in Queen of Heaven. Like, you can say you believe in the Most High all you want to, but when you start doing things that represent these gods and the pagans and the heathenistic people are honoring their gods on the days that you honoring and thinking you honoring something else, you can think whatever you want to think. It's still, you're still dealing with the reality of this what it is. You can make it mean whatever you want to mean. But you hear what the word is saying. Every word of the Most High is pure. That's why I said, learn not the way of the heathen. But we always want to learn their way, and it's a trap for us. Always been a trap for us. We just want to find some other way. Let's go to Acts. I want to go to Acts. The 19th chapter. And 4. Acts 19 and 4. I mean, this is, like I said, nothing new under the sun. We've been doing this. Acts 19 and 4. Let's see. No, I don't want to go there. I'm gonna go to 19. Let's start at bear with me. Let's start at verse 14. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, because they was trying to, let's go up. Let me go up. So let's read verse 13. Then certain of the vagabond Jews, exorcists, they exercise and call themselves exorcising evil spirits out of people, took upon themselves to call over them which had evil spirits the name of Mashiach, the master Mashiach, saying, we adjure you by Jesus, or Mashiach Yahushua, whom Paul preaches. So they try to be exorcists. They try to exorcise the demons out of someone through Mashiach Yahushua, by Shem Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior. Same one that Paul preaches, they said, right? And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priest, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, Yahushua, Mashiach, I know, and Paul I know, but who are you? Who are you? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them. That spirit, evil spirits being people, let you know that just like Legion was 2,000 spirits that went into 2,000 hogs. You know, I must check out the shot. I had them run down the hill and drown. But it was 2,000 of them. It says, and the evil spirit answered and said, Mashiach Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are thee? Who are you? And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them. Hear that? The man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. Hear that? 7 of them. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them, not just him, leaped on them. It was 7 of them. Leaped on them and overcame them. That's why you got to be in the spirit. You got to be cultivated and ordained and anointed in the spirit, so these things can't happen to you. And the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them, going around people that's got evil spirits in them, leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. And this was known to all the Jews and Greeks, also dwelling at Ephesus. And fear fell on them all, and the name of Mashiach Yahushua was magnified. And many that believed came and confessed and showed their deeds. Many of them also which used curious arts brought their books together and burned them. They started burning their books up, dealing with all this witchcraft and all this stuff. They burned them up before all men. And they counted the price of them and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. They burnt these witchcraft and sorcery, all this psychic books. They burned them up. And the cost was 50,000 pieces of silver. So mightily grew the word of the Most High and prevailed. After these things were ended, Paul purposed in the Spirit, when he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia, to go to Jerusalem, saying, after I have been there, I must also see Rome. See, after I leave Jerusalem, I must see Rome. So he went into Macedonia. 2 of them that ministered unto him, Timotheus and Erastus, but he himself stayed in Asia for a season, right? In the same time, so Paul stayed in Asia. In the same time, there arose no small stir about that way. For a certain man named Demetrius, a silversmith, which made silver shrine for Diana. Same as what we talking about, Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, and all the other names, even Mary, the statue of Mary, all these different identities representing these gods. This is one, Diana. Let me see if I can find a picture of her. I have a picture of her. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. So you can see this. And it's still going back to Semiramis. You're going to see those that can understand and really focus just a moment.